Brought to you by Penguin.
Picture Imperfect by Jacqueline Wilson. Read by Megan Richards. Chapter 1. I was designing a new custom piece, a dragon with gleaming green scales in a fiery tryst, with a princess with red hair right down to her feet, when a jangling bell startled them apart. It took me a moment to realise I was dreaming, but the noise clamouring in my ears was all too real. Feeling for my phone on the bedside table, I nearly sent it flying over the edge. Still bleary with sleep, I made a final, clumsy grab and fumbled to press the green button. There was a voice in my ear. "Are you... Dolphin?" a man asked uncertainly. I started trembling. Very few people called me that now. Oh, help. Had Marigold created chaos again? I thought things were going so well. "Yes?" I said, my voice husky. "Sorry to wake you up in the middle of the night, but we have a lady here who's not very well and she's given us your number. She says she's called Marigold, Queen of the Sky." He pronounced it solemnly, but I could hear a colleague spluttering in the background. Perhaps they thought they'd stepped into a parody of Game of Thrones. I breathed out slowly, sagging in despair. She'd come off her medication again. Why wouldn't she ever learn? "My mother really is called Marigold," I said, trying to sound calm. "She suffers from chronic mental illness, as you've probably gathered." "Where is she? In a nightclub?" "I'm a security officer at Gatwick Airport, North Terminal," he said. "What's she doing there?" I asked weakly. "She's kicking up one hell of a fuss, that's what she's doing. She says she's missed her flight. She's had too much to drink, if you don't mind my saying. But we get a lot of passengers like this. We were going to let her sleep it off, but she started screaming to get through to airside because she wants to go shopping in Hamleys, even though we've told her they closed at 8 p.m. "I see," I said, my mouth so dry I could barely get the words out. "She's still kicking off, lashing out, falling over. We're concerned she might hurt herself more than anyone else. We phoned a couple of hospitals, but there aren't any beds going spare on the psych wards. I suppose the police could collect her and pop her in a cell for being drunk and disorderly, but she seems a nice lady. Shame to give her a criminal record." The nice lady actually had a criminal record as long as her illustrated arm, but I wasn't telling him that. "So, what do you want me to do?" I asked, though it was obvious. "Could you come and collect her?" he asked. "You should see the state she's in, and she is your mum, after all." "She has another daughter. I'm her second daughter, second by birth and second best." "Of course," I said through a giant sigh. "It'll take me quite a while to get to Gatwick, though." He'd already rung off. I stared at the glowing phone in the darkness and took in the time. 1:30. How in God's name was I going to get to Gatwick? I didn't have a car. I'd never even learnt to drive properly. A long-ago boyfriend tried giving me a few lessons and kept losing his temper, saying I was so stupid I'd likely kill myself and any passengers the first time I took to the road. I wanted to run him over then. I imagined a tattoo of me driving a giant steamroller, turning him into Flat Stanley. I didn't persevere with our relationship or the driving lessons, so now I was stuck. There weren't any trains at this time of night. I wasn't even sure I'd be able to get a taxi. You mostly had to book a day or two ahead in Seahaven. I wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. It was at least £70 to Gatwick, and probably another 70 back again. Though if Marigold was in a state, the driver would probably refuse to take her. I didn't have £14 going spare, let alone 140. Perhaps I could phone my dad to ask if he could possibly give me a lift. He'd helped me out with Marigold in the past. He'd always been kind to me, even though he didn't know I existed until we met when I was 10. He's tried to be in my life for the last 20-odd years, 23 years to be exact. I'm 33, the same age as Marigold when she ended up in hospital for months. When she came out at last, she seemed so different. We thought it was going to be all right. We'd be together again, Marigold and Star and me.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?